Let's start a conversation. The whole idea of using just the Origin box was to put ourselves in the mindset of when this first released. I got into Riftbound just a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going from Origins to Spiritforged, onto Unleashed, and then Vendetta will be coming out later on in the year. So we're kind of just going as we were back then, in the mindset of this is all we've got to work with. What's up everyone, and welcome back to another Riftbound episode here on the Pokersmith channel. As you can see down here, I have the unit cards for my first deck I have built just using the Origins booster box alone. So I have 20 units here, and I have some other spells and gears on this side here, just down in the bottom corner. But before we get into it, remember to comment, like, subscribe, get involved, all that good stuff. Hit that notification button as well, because I have a Spiritforged booster box opening coming up next week. So back to the deck building. First deck, as I said, using the Origins box alone. Here are my 20 units, including the legend card over here. As I said, I'm just using the Origin box. So if you've got any ideas of what you would change, move, replace, add or subtract any numbers here, obviously I'm limited to what I drew from the box, so take a pause of the video, there you go, and then leave a comment below to let me know what you're thinking so far of these units with that Misfortune legend card there as well. So I will quickly run through the spells as well. So I drew a Rebuke, I got two of those. I got the two Ride the Winds as well in this deck. Two Gust. These are my only two reaction cards in this deck, which I noticed is something that I would be sure of. So if you've got any ideas of any further reaction cards to add into a deck like this, let me know. Let's start a conversation. The whole idea of using just the Origin box was to put ourselves in the mindset of when this first released. I got into Riftbound just a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going from Origins to Spiritforged, onto Unleashed, and then Vendetta will be coming out later on in the year. So we're kind of just going as we were back then, in the mindset of this is all we've got to work with. So we will go from there. And later on in this video, I will be opening up some booster packs of Spiritforged and our first starter deck that I got from Spiritforged, and then we can start to move into the Spiritforged Origins meta, so to speak. I'm not following meta because I'm just playing for fun and with friends, so I'm just looking for fun decks that sort of work quite well, good for beginners as well, and this is what I've come up with so far. I got the two Confront spells as well. I got Mobilize, I got three of those, so we'll be using that to channel some runes. We got the stack deck. I've seen this used a lot. Look at the top three cards of your main deck, put one into your hand, recycle the rest. Means you kind of get some draws and options of what you can choose. Sabotage spell, Treasure Trove, and Catalyst of Aeons. I think that's how you pronounce it. Draw two runes. If you can't draw two runes, draw a card. So this deck sort of built on ganking and drawing cards and kind of accelerating your runes as quickly as possible, really, to have a fast start. That's kind of the concept I came up with for this deck. I'm not sure if that's how you're supposed to use Misfortune, but hey, those are the cards I had, and that is what I worked with. So I am 4 cards short as well in this deck, so if you've got 4 cards you think would be good, throw them in here. I know in the orange, Punch First is a card that I want to add, so I'm hoping I can draw that from the 3 booster packs I've got from Spiritforged, so we'll see if we can throw that into this deck. Anyway, so that is the first initial deck build. We start off with a pack. Let's start with a pack, and I know there's one that comes in the starter deck. Then we'll crack open the starter deck. I believe actually, is that, yeah, orange. I think the reason I chose that starter deck is because the punch card first is in that deck, so I don't actually need to pull it, as I was saying before, and it'll be in that deck. So Misfortune being an orange deck as well, I can include it, and there we go. So here we go, our first first pack of Spiritforged Riftbound. Exciting moment. Let's see what we get here. We got a forecaster, an armed assailant. So we will be moving in this channel into the Spiritforged sort of meta, seeing all these new cards. Trusty Ramhound, ooh, Burrow Captain, Cold Shot. I know that I'm recording this just a day after the banned card list, so we'll have to check that out and make sure we don't have any banned cards into the deck that we have started to build. Aspiring Engineer. We got a Lucian is our first rare, going into a Rek'Sai. Okay, good flavor text there. Grrr. Yep, there we go. And a mech as well. All right, so a nice start there for our our Spiritforged. And let's crack open this starter deck here, see what we get. I love when companies do this. Little rip tag there. Nice and easy. Good stuff. And let's see what comes in this if you haven't already. I'm sure anybody that's come across this channel by now probably has seen. But hey, there is our booster pack. And it comes with a little paper playmat, which is going to be useful for me and my friends to get used to the layout. Oh yeah, a little paper card deck box that comes with. And a booklet, phrases and terms and stuff. Very helpful indeed. So the playmats is what I was going to say. Who's a fan of the zoned playmats? I like the idea of zoned playmats, so you can get used to how the game is structured and all that kind of stuff. And you know, you can still see the art. The art is pretty cool with most of them, and it just keeps the game nice and tidy. So let's go through these. So obviously we've got the Fiora Legend card there. Pretty awesome Fiora card as well. We'll just quickly run through these so you can take a look. Some hollow cards there as well. Lucian, oh, we just pulled that one in the other pack. That's interesting. And so there is some equipment, another unit there. Here we go. We'll just quickly go through this and see what we think we might pull out. If those first punches are in here, pull those out, put them to one side. We might need them in the future. Daunting Vanguard, Dorian's Blade. Also, let me know in the comments what sort of Spiritforged cards would you recommend to pick out for a Misfortune deck. And if you look at the video, I pulled a few about runes as well. There we go, and some runes, and we're finishing off. Let's see what we can get into this, our second ever Spiritforged booster pack. As I said, the booster box is coming next week if you want to come up and check that out. Here we go, Ribbon Dancer. Ooh, Frostcoat Cub, very cute little card there as well. Element Bone Factor, Sea Monkey. Okay, Black Market Broker, Eye of Herald. Another battlefield there for us. Warmog's Armor. We got a BF Sword. Yordle Explorer, sorry. We got our rare, which is a Bard. Oh, and a rare Battle Mistress. Okay, a legend card there. So a new one for us. Oh, and we got one of the fancy runes. Very nice. We got the body rune there. That is pretty awesome. Do like the look of these. Look at the shine and detail on that. That is a lovely, lovely card. Very nice. Very cool way to bling out your deck. But I imagine expensive if you need, 6 to 8 of any one type, and obviously 12 in total. And this is our last booster pack today. I don't know why I keep stumbling on that today, but there we go. So like I said before, as we are trying to build decks, just come up with ideas together and just have a good time, good discussion about Riftbound. As we get further in, I will go into more detail about cards and all that kind of stuff like that. But for now, we're just building up nice, friendly starter decks to have a good time, bit of fun. Death Grip there, another battlefield. We've got 2 battlefields, a temporal portal. Coming into the rare, another legend card, Void Burrower. That is one freaky looking card right there. And we come into a Draven Vanquisher, which would have been great a while ago, but I know this is one of the cards that have just been banned. So maybe you can play for fun with your friends and stuff, but you can't really do much with it outside of that and a rune there as well. So that's quite funny. I do remember that being one of the cards that got banned. Was it 7 in total? Something like that. You know, they were overplayed in the game, so after just 2 sets currently being released, obviously I think the 3rd, maybe more, have been released in China and so on, but it's interesting to see bans that early. But if they can see it going in a certain direction, then it's best to just do away with them and go from there. Anyway, so that is today's video on Riftbound. I hope you enjoyed having a look at my terrible deck. I have no idea if it's any good or not, but it's going to be fun to find out and test it as well. Just like I said, I'm in it for the fun. I'm not in it for meta or competition. So if you're here for that as well, follow along. Come back next week for the Spiritforged booster box opening. All right, thanks again for watching. Thanks for making it to the end of another video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.